In my opinion, these are the main tropes that if they're in a book, they only work if you don't know they're coming in that book. The first one is enemies to lovers. I'm sure you guys are expecting this. I made a video about this a week ago and you guys seem to love it. Some of you agreed, some of you disagreed, but I really do think that if you're told it's enemies to lovers, you're just going to be expecting it. The next one kind of builds off that. It is love triangles. If you tell me there's a love triangle in a book and we have three main characters with three main POVs, obviously it's going to be those three in the love triangle. Like, how stupid. I'm going to be expecting it very, very similar to enemies to lovers, and it's just going to kind of ruin the whole immersion of the book for me. And I read for immersion. Then we have the unreliable narrator trope. There are so many times that a website like Goodreads or the Waterstones website tells you, oh, this is an amazing unreliable narrator story. I'm like, why are you telling me that the narrator is unreliable? Because the whole point of reading a book is that you trust the narrator. You just automatically assume that the POV is correct, everything is correct, and you are on the right side of things. But then when you tell me beforehand there is an unreliable narrator narrating this book, you kind of decide that, okay, maybe this person isn't saying the truth, so I'm automatically going to believe the opposite of everything. Like, even if not everything they say is unreliable, it kind of adds this second guessing factor, which is fine. I actually quite like that. However, what I don't like is that it normally spoils the plot twist. If you're expecting something to happen, it really does ruin the shock factor, which moves on to the next thing, which is telling me that there are plot twists at the end of the book. Why are you doing this? Why are you advertising this new book as BookTok's newest, hottest, latest plot twist filled adventure? Because every minor or every major event that happens in the book, or every interaction, I'm going to be second guessing, thinking, okay, maybe this is where the plot twist comes. Maybe this person turns on this person, stuff like that. And I do like those levels of intrigue, but I like to figure them out by myself rather than being told them before I've even picked up the book because someone decided to slap it on the cover for marketing purposes. And then finally, this one might be a little bit controversial and it's a little bit unrealistic to expect this from books, but it is smut/spice. Don't get me wrong, I completely understand and I completely agree with the fact that you should tell people if there is smut or spice in your books, but in an ideal world, I would love to go into a book and then spice happens just because I'm like, again, shock factor. Because in my opinion, smut and spice as a reader allows you to understand your characters more. It allows you to have more of a deep bond with them just because you've seen them in this intimate setting. But when you know there's smut or spice in a book, you already know that you're going to have that level of connection with them and it doesn't really feel as organic. And I don't know about you guys, but I just like to have quite an organic relationship with my characters in my books. So those are the tropes that I honestly believe would be so much better off if we weren't told them before we even opened the book. Sadly, this isn't really real or possible within a lot of books. And I do understand that. It's completely fine for stuff like smut and spice because you have to have those warnings in there. I completely get it. But stuff like unreliable narrator, love triangles, and enemies to lovers, why are you telling me they're in the book? Let me know in the comments any more tropes that you think that are better off not knowing before you go in. Make sure to like, make sure to follow, and happy goddamn reading.